Are you looking to move to Asbury Park, New Jersey? Well, I got just a video for you. Today we're going to be going over everything that you need to know before moving to Asbury. So that's going to cover everything from the location, school systems, the nightlife, the entertainment options, and much, much more. But before we get started, if it's your first time to the channel, my name is Steve McCutcheon, and I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway. On the Live in Central Jersey channel, we cover everything related to the Central Jersey real estate market. So if you want to be the first one to know what's going on in either Monmouth or Ocean County real estate, feel free to click the bell, hit the subscribe button. Let's get the video started. We're going to show it on my laptop. I'm going to be on Google Maps here. I'll show you about the school district on niche.com. Then we're also going to hit up Google Earth real fast just to kind of give you an idea of what it really looks like in Asbury Park for the most part. So quite a few different topics we want to cover, so it might be a little bit longer video. Feel free to skip around if you have to, but let's get this thing underway. So the first thing I want to cover is going to be the location. So right now I have an outline of Asbury Park right here. So as you can see, I don't know if it's a little hard sometimes. So that's the outline. Not exactly, but so that's what it's going to look like. It's also going to be one of the smaller towns in Monmouth County. It's ranked, I think, 36th out of 53. It's about 1.5 or 1.6 square miles, so it's about a mile and a half. It's not really a massive one, but that's also going to be very common for any of the short towns that we have around here. So Asbury is going to be much more of a city vibe and atmosphere than a lot of other places as well. You'll be able to notice that because the downtown, you might be able to see it here. So a lot of other buildings, just a lot of vertical living over here, and there's going to be a train that comes right through Asbury Park, which not every town is going to have that in Monmouth County. It's going to be more along the eastern part or the eastern border, so that's going to be able to get you around to a lot of the other shore towns, and even, believe it or not, all the way into New York City. So we'll cover that in a little bit too. So Asbury is going to be one of the few city feels that you have in Monmouth County, and it's, if you didn't need a vehicle or you didn't have to have one, this would be the one town you could possibly live in. But the majority of the time, if you have to go outside of Asbury, you will probably still need a personal vehicle as well. So, but if you didn't have to, you would be able to get around that way. So the commute to work is going to be relatively pretty simple. So if you look to the left over here, we're going to have Route 35, 66, 18. Those are all going to, or 18 and 35 are going to span north to south, and then 66 is going to get you east to west there. A little farther past that is also going to be the Garden State Parkway. That's going to be this roadway over here. This will also run north to south, and it's going to be a toll road. This is going to be one of two major highways that we have here in New Jersey. And the Garden State Parkway, for the most part, runs along the East Coast all the way up to get to when you get to New York City. And then the New Jersey Turnpike we'll cover in just a second. That's going to be more of the West Coast, but it does cross over. So if you want to get up to New York City and driving, it's going to be a little more difficult from Asbury, but it's not impossible by any means. So you would take the Garden State Parkway up. So somewhere right around here, all the way through there. Don't know, ask me why that's pinned over there. Then right around here is we're going to hit 90. See where it says 95 on the map there? That's also going to be the New Jersey Turnpike. And typically, if you're going into the Manhattan area, you take that up, and then there's a couple different bridges you can cross into to get into Manhattan, into New York City. So this is going to be Staten Island right here, this little piece. So you can go through here as well. That way, you got Brooklyn out here. So if you want to get to the majority of the boroughs, you can do so. It's just going to matter on traffic for you. So if you had to get into New York City, we can just throw that in here real fast. Google Maps has it down there at about an hour and a half, roughly, give or take, right? That's also if I left now at 4 or 5 when I'm making this video. So if you wanted to say you wanted to leave in rush hour where there's going to be more cars on the road, 7 a.m. That is definitely not 7 a.m. That's 3 p.m. There we go. That's going to jump up, right? So you see an hour and 45 minutes looks like they're pretty much the average time, or an hour and 15 up to 2 hours. If you had no traffic whatsoever and you hopped on the parkway, yeah, I would say about an hour 15 to an hour and a half is a very realistic time frame. More likely than not, during rush hour, yeah, you're going to hit a lot of traffic as well. So as you can see, once you get into that Newark area, that's going to be where you have a lot of your traffic going up. So that's where you're going to hit the majority of it. I would say right next to the airport. So this is going to be it right here. And once you hit this area, that's when it's all going to start coming in a little bit. So most of the people start to go in around Jersey City. They go through Hoboken. But yeah, again, there's a couple different ones. If you take this route, like I said, go over this way. But I would say 2 hours is a more realistic time frame dealing with rush hour traffic on most days, whether there's an accident, there's rain, snow, whatever the case is. We get that all in here in New Jersey, any type of storm. So that's going to be if you're driving yourself. You're also going to see there's going to be a bus option right here. About an hour and 45 minutes. There are some express lanes for the buses, so they will be able to bypass some of the traffic, but not all of it. Obviously, there's going to be just enough congestion. We are the most densely populated state in the U.S. I mean, we have a lot of people in a smaller area, so it's just an unfortunate thing we have to live with. But If you want to take the bus, about an hour and 45 minutes. And the same thing I would say for the train, maybe not an hour 45, more close to like an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes necessarily. But the train's going to be located pretty much right in the middle of Asbury Park. We can get rid of this. So if you looked at Asbury, I'll outline it again for you real fast. You have all right here, if you follow my cursor, the direct middle of it's going to be this train right here. I think the rail's a little more, yeah, farther south here. But basically divide Asbury Park into two different sections, right? So this right side over here, this is going to be more of the city atmosphere like I was talking about before, right? So that's where you're going to have, obviously, you can see the sand right there. That's going to be the beach, boardwalk, convention center is going to be over there. There's going to be a lot of other different entertainment options that you're going to have, restaurants, shopping, everything is going to be like located on this part of Asbury Park. Then if you go to like the more northern section, and trust me, the real estate can be pretty expensive there too. But this more northern section up here, this is also near Deal Lake. That's also going to be relatively pretty pricey for Asbury Park. And then you'll have this section over here. This one hasn't necessarily flipped over just yet in this area. It's more of a residential single families, and it's just not there yet. So way back in the day, I shouldn't say way back in the day, but the mid to late 80s, early 90s, Asbury Park had a really significant like crime problem. So throughout there, they invested heavily in the police force, and now Asbury Park, especially the majority, like I would say at least half, if not the majority of it, is a great place to be. It's very fun to go out at night. My wife and I like going there. I have friends that live in Asbury. It's a really nice spot. They did a lot of hard work building it back up, the town itself, and did an excellent job of it. And it's a much better area than what it used to be. So, there are still some parts you just gotta watch out for. Just do your own research and look, maybe find like a crime map or something like that. But just kind of give you a heads up on it. But it's much, much, much better than what it used to be. So the commute to New York City, like I mentioned, you can either drive yourself, take the bus, or take the train. Those are all pretty much going to be three of your options. When it comes to the train, that's going to run through NJ Transit. And then the bus, there's two different bus routes that typically run through New Jersey. So you're going to have another one through NJ Transit, or you can use an Academy bus line. Typically, the short towns, you're going to use an Academy bus. I don't have the exact one. I forgot to look it up, of course, before, but usually the short towns, just the way the routes are, NJ Transit doesn't go over this way as much, so you'll be dealing with more of an Academy bus line. So it's roughly the same thing, get you to the same location. So the buses go into Port Authority and the train brings you into Penn Station. A couple different things also just about Asbury Park in general. You're going to have the second most densely populated area in Monmouth County. So believe it or not, that 1.6 square miles that we covered has about 15,000 residents as a population. So it's actually, relatively pretty nice area. It's really fun, vibrant nightlife. So as of raising a family in a sense, it might be a little bit more difficult, just kind of like the way it's divided into. I would really more consider it that mid to late 20s, early 30s, and then maybe like the retiring section, like in terms of like a demographic. If you want to live in Asbury, I think that's probably like your best bet. People that are going to go out constantly, they want to enjoy the city atmosphere, that kind of thing. So it's, again, like I said, one of the better spots to go out in. Some excellent restaurants. I'll kind of get to that a little bit later in the video, but highly recommend checking it out. So when it comes to the school system, this is where I'm going to say it's not going to shine just as much or just yet. They're still working on it. It's getting there. It's believe it or not, it was worse. But for Monmouth County, this is definitely going to be a lower grade for their school system. So this I use niche.com. You can use Great Schools or whatever other website you prefer. But this is the one I just typically go to and refer to when throughout my videos if this is the first time you're checking this out. So they rate it as a C minus. It does K through 12, houses about 1,500 students in the district, and has a 12-to-1 student teacher ratio. Most of the districts in Monmouth, like I mentioned before, they're going to be in like that A minus, B plus range. So that's why I say when it comes to Asbury, it's just not near the top tier or top level in Monmouth in a sense. So just kind of give an idea of where the schools are located. They got 2 elementary, 1 middle, and 1 high school. The high school is going to be rated the best out of all of them. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there is a charter school that runs in Asbury. I'm not 100% on that or if it's still available to students, but that is a possibility as well. But if you want to, I'll just look in Monmouth County for you real quick here. Give you an idea. Of course, it's going to have to pause and take forever to load, but I'm doing this live on a video. And Phil, working. There we go. So if you change it to districts, and it's one of the reasons I also like using niche. It's just very seamless and easy transit. Just moving around the website and in general is just very easily. So the top rated school is going to be Homedale Township School District. That's going to be rated an A. Number two, A, is going to be Freehold Regional High School District. This will be made up of not just one school, but actually six different towns. So you're going to have Freehold Township, Freehold Borough, Colts Neck, Marlboro, Howell, and I think that's it. That name's six. Borough Township, Marlboro, Manalapan, Howell, yeah, Colts Neck. So it's gonna be made up of all of them. It's a really excellent district to grow up in. I went to Freehold Township myself a long, long time ago. But yeah, just kind of like I said. So you have an A, another A, in Upper Freehold and Freehold Township and Freehold Borough, completely separated. So Borough and Township are right next to each other. Upper is like all the way to the left, so don't get those confused. Manasquan's a really good one. That's a shore town. Matawan Aberdeen just made a video on them recently. If you saw it, Middletown. So you can see all these districts going to be in the A minus range. So until we get to the eighth best district is when you hit B plus. So Monmouth County is well known for their schools, as well as in New Jersey too. It's actually most lists you find around for the country. New Jersey is typically like the second, third, or at the worst fourth state in the country in terms of just the public school districts. On the other side, because of our taxes, that's also a big reason for it. So a lot of the time your taxes go towards the school systems, at least 50% most times. And that's so we fund the schools pretty well because we have high property taxes here in Jersey. So one downside to living here, unfortunately. Another big thing we're going to want to cover is going to be the entertainment option. So this is where I'm going to use Google Earth real fast. Just want to kind of give you an idea of what it realistically looks like. So this is going to be the eastern side, so the right side of the train tracks right now. This is going to be, like I said, that city atmosphere, not really the single family portion. So this little strip, break the pen out real quick. Can I not do that with this? I might not be able to. But basically this strip right here, if you can follow my cursor. Oh, there we go. Right along here. This will be mainly I would say like the majority of your options are going to be in this section. That's going to be a lot of your restaurant shopping, like I mentioned before, beach, boardwalk. There's a convention hall over here, a couple different places you can get some music. If you're a big Bruce Springsteen guy, he grew up here in Jersey in Freehold. He has a song called I think it's out Asbury Park. I'm not a big Bruce guy, so don't kill me for that one. But yeah, just don't hit me in the comments with it. But regardless, so you have the convention center. So you have, I think they have up to a capacity of like 3,600 people for like live events and concerts. Obviously, you're going to have the beach. You can lay out here. There's a charge to it. I don't have the daily rates in front of me, but typically you have your daily or your summer rates for any type of the beaches in here in New Jersey. So your daily is going to be obviously for your daily, and then your summer pass will get you throughout the whole summer. Boardwalk, as you can see, kind of going through there. Got some mini golf. I know it's a little blurry. My apologies here. If I zoom in, maybe it'd be a little bit better. Possibly. There we go. Arcade right in front of here. As you go and you just keep scrolling down a little bit more, you'll just notice that the beach is going to be over there. They have a splash pad for the kids. So they did a really nice job when I said when they're flipping the town over, they're making it more desirable. They executed it pretty well with like trying to draw or trying to attract young families. That's always a big thing. Obviously, the easier way to make the town a little bit better. So that's going to be more of like Ocean Ave, right? That's going to be your beach, boardwalk, convention hall. This is one of the more iconic music venues that we have here in New Jersey. It's called the Stone Pony. A lot of big concerts here every summer. They usually do like a little tour in a sense. Like I mentioned, Bruce Springsteen will come back and play. You got guys like T-Pain, couple of different country guys who were there this past summer. And they'll have some other bands too, some like, more local ones as well that have a pretty good following around here that do just a bunch of covers. So Stone Pony, highly recommend checking them out if you're going to be in the area. And if you want to just look them up online, you're going to just be able to find them pretty easily and just catch a concert or catch some type of event. You're also going to have the Wonderbar. That's going to be located a little bit farther on the other side of the road. That's going to be another big music venue and very popular here for a long time. As you can kind of see as well, we'll get to the housing options in a little bit, but a lot of vertical living over here. So that's why I said it's going to have that city feel to it for the most part. And as we make our way kind of down around over here, this is going to be your other big stretch of a lot of things to do, different bars you want to go out to, all the shopping, dining, and options. Zoom in. There we go. There's some really nice places just to go up and down the street over here. I don't know if I'll pass it just yet. I think it's a little farther down, but So you have the Asbury Ale House. That's a nice bar to go to. Has sometimes like a louder atmosphere, so you're not gonna be the easiest place to talk, but there are also some other quieter nights, so you can check them out. If you're looking to just kind of grab a drink with someone and just, hang out for a little bit. Toast is a really good breakfast spot. I think it's a little farther down, so we're not gonna be able to get to that without taking like 600 clicks right now. But so that's going to be a nice little area to go to. This is going to be more of the downtown vibe. Plenty of parking in different areas you can go to. So if you want to drive into it, you can. Or if you're near one of the trains, feel free to just drive or hop on one of them and head into Asbury there. A little bit farther on this side, Johnny Max is going to be over here. That's going to be a very popular outdoor spot. It's pretty much like right across from the police station. That's a more of like your younger demographic will go there from like your early 20s to maybe late 20s. They play a lot of pop punk music. Like if you ever heard Ocean Avenue, that's obviously a jam that's going to be on there constantly. But that's kind of like the more the vibe for that bar. And there's so many other things that you can be doing in Asbury. Let's go back to the maps for you. So I mentioned the Stone Pony you kind of see right there. You got the Asbury Hotel is a good spot. That'll be much more, it's going to be a little bit more pricey, but a little quieter as well to kind of just hang out a little bit. You got the bowling alley over here, Asbury Lanes. For a bowling alley, I would say it's relatively kind of expensive. It's a little bit more higher end in that aspect. Although if you've been bowling lately, I feel like all of them are getting to that point that the price point's definitely gone up a little bit. But that's an option if you want to go bowling. So there's, like I said, there is nothing you really can't find that's going to be in or that's not in Asbury already if you're looking for just a nightlife in general. So that's why I said this is a great location kind of for your mid early 20s, or if you're like now you're retiring age. The price points though are going to be a little bit more difficult for that early 20s generation, especially with the way things are going right now and how high up they're getting. But just kind of give you an idea of like what it's like to be living in Asbury. So all around this strip right here, that's going to be your constant just where you're going to be heading and going out every night in Asbury. Next thing we're going to want to check out, like I just kind of mentioned, is your housing options. So vertical living is going to be on this section of Asbury, right? A lot of apartments, they're building some new ones even too. So a decent amount of new construction is kind of going on in like this area right here, in a sense. There are still some houses, don't get me wrong, some single families. We can, if you want, I'll go back and check those out too. But this is going to be like your high rises, your condos, your new construction, your what are they called, studios, like with no bedrooms or whatever. But this is going to be pretty much like what you're looking at. So on the eastern side of things, like so like the eastern side of like 71 and the train tracks, I would say your average price point, it varies so greatly in Asbury. You're going to be looking at anything from like the smallest studio you can find, probably like $300,000 to $400,000, and then it goes all the way up to $3 million. So like I said before, like if you're in your mid 20s, you're not affording that $3 million penthouse that's going to be overlooking the ocean by any means, right? That's going to be someone that's probably hanging out at the yacht club. But there is still options in there if you wanted to purchase that are going to be a little bit more affordable. If you find that $400,000 studio that if you know you're going to be going out in Asbury and that's kind of like your nightlife and that's how you like it, perfect spot to go. Highly recommend checking them out. Then if you want to go more on the western side, this is going to be more of your single families area over here. Like I mentioned before, up in this northern part of Asbury near Deal Lake, that's going to be some pretty expensive real estate as well. You're probably going to be looking at, well into the high six figures, if not into the seven figures for $1 million price point. But inside here, I would say on the western side, you're going to be looking at homes in between about $400,000 and $700,000. Just go. I mean, you're gonna have to drive around the area if you want to move into there. Just kind of just check it out a little bit. But overall, Asbury is going to be a really good spot to be living in. It's up and coming still, even though most of it's already gotten there at that point. So you're definitely going to be paying a lot more than what you were paying 5, 10, 15 years ago. I mean, anything more than 5 years ago before COVID hit was definitely going to be cheaper. But and just in terms in general, so Asbury is going to be a pretty hot spot. So we've covered so far basically like location, the commuting to work, a little bit of the demographics, the population, housing, entertainment. So that's pretty much going to be the main gist of living in Asbury Park. So like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. All my contact information is going to be down low in the comments and description. If you're looking to move in the Asbury area, buying or selling, don't hesitate to reach out. I get people just like you all the time. Call, text, email, whatever works best for you. It's fine with me. And whether even if you're 3, 6 months out, it doesn't matter. I've had people that are just still planning in the future. So don't be shy. Please reach out. And I'd love to see you guys in the next video.